Good morning. Look at how pretty everybody looks. Okay. How about some Karen Drucker to get you guys going? All right.
Let's do it.
Let's silence our phones.
I'm Steve, by the way. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
How's everybody feeling? How you guys doing?
Yay!
Everybody okay?
Yay!
Is it me? Is it just really quiet? You guys really
We're
quiet?
peaceful today.
Peaceful? We're gonna bust that up right now. That's good.
Here we go.
Who are you?
Come on now. Yeah, you guys can stand up if you want.
I do believe, I do receive, just have to know, and then declare it to be so. With mine, and a little bit of time, because my heart is good, will be mine. I do believe, I do receive, just have to know, and then declare it to be so. With mine, and a little bit of time, because my heart is good, and it is mine. Check it out.
Oh, I like this. Woo! Turn on the monitor a little bit.
I do believe, I will receive, just have to know, and then declare it to be so. With mine, and a little bit of time, choose my highest good, well, it is mine. I do believe, I will receive, just have to know, and then declare it to be so. With mine, and a little bit of time, choose my highest good, well, it is mine. And anything I want, it is mine. Well, anything I want, it is mine. I want my perfect health, it is mine. To celebrate perfect health, it is mine. I want my joy and peace, it is mine. Yeah, joy and peace, it is mine. Yes, I love, 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 it is mine. Yeah, love, 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 it is mine. Yeah, my love, 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 it is mine. My love, 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 it is mine. That's right. So my heart is good. It is mine. And yours.
There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place today, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There are sweet expressions on His face today, and I know that it's the presence of the Lord. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet and leader, stay right here with
So I invite us just to take a few deep breaths in and out, allowing yourself to be fully here, fully now, receiving the wonderful support of your chair, and allow that to be symbolic of the way that we are in every moment supported fully by the universe. I invite you just to focus on this breath that is a wonderful symbol of our interconnection, our exchange with the universe that is happening in every moment. I invite you to imagine a field around you, about a 3-foot circle that is surrounding you, and experience the beautiful life that is there. This is your personal energy field, your personal atmosphere. Everything that you're experiencing is represented as energy in this field. All of your thoughts, all of your feelings, your belief structures, the health of your physical body also lives as energy in this field. I invite you to breathe into all that is there, all of your magnificence that is represented in this field, being with all of it, all the varying textures without judgment. And just breathing all of this in as the truth of your magnificence. Now I invite you to bring attention to your heart and take several breaths in and out of your heart, noticing the radiance of your heart energy beginning to expand with every breath, how the heart is becoming more of itself with your attending, with your breath. On your next in-breath, breathe this personal atmosphere of yours into your heart and sense into the healing that is taking place in this gesture. Noticing how welcoming your heart is to everything that is in your personal atmosphere, everything that is in your field. How the heart knows how to clear what needs to be cleared. It knows how to heal what needs to be healed. How to nurture what needs to be nurtured there. How to renew what needs to be renewed. Sense your heart embracing this field, your personal atmosphere with a beautiful pink light. And sense its wisdom, knowing just what to do and where to go. I now invite you on your next out-breath to breathe your personal atmosphere back out and feel it surrounding you once more. Sensing a new wholeness that is there, a softness, a groundedness, and yet a new lightness of being. I invite you in your next in-breath to breathe your atmosphere once more into your heart. And on your following out-breath, breathe it out till it is surrounding you once more. Sensing how each time you do this, your field is becoming more and more radiant, more and more translucent. I invite you now to bring your awareness to others that are here in the room with you, those that are with us virtually, and sense the field that we are creating together in this heart breath, and sense how it is palpable. Breathe into this foundational heart energy from which our time together will emerge, and feel the gift of creative love energy that we are together in this place and this time. Bring your awareness to the chair that you are sitting in, to your feet on the floor, and when you're ready, you may open your eyes. So welcome, beloveds. My name is Lisa Lee. I'm the spiritual leader here. I'm so delighted to be here with each one of us and to just really breathe inside of the sacred appointing, the sacred anointing of this time. And I love that Michael Beckwith says that there will never be exactly this group of people gathered together ever again. You know, so it kind of has this miracle kind of energy to it, and so it feels kind of electric-y. So I welcome us into that electric-iness. It's a new word. Look it up. And so I'd like to welcome our online or our virtual guests and family, just to let you know that I'm so happy that you're here, and even though we can't see you with our eyes, we feel you with the eyes of our heart, and we really recognize the magic that you bring and the intention that you bring that makes it possible for you to do what we are about to create together today. So thank you so very much for being here. And now I'd like to invite anyone who may be here for the very first time to stand. And if this is you, we will not ask you to say anything, but we do have many gifts for you. Yay! Wonderful. So the first gift Marcia is giving you is a welcome packet. And it tells you a little bit about unity and how unity has been spreading love in the world for the past 150 years. And then also a little bit about unity of Las Vegas and what our particular flavor of love is. And inside of that packet is what I call the magic orange card. And if you reach in there and pull it out and fill it out and leave it with us, it'll give us the opportunity to send you via email a free meditation, which we would absolutely love to do. All right, our next gift, you need to remain standing for this, is an energetic blessing. And so I'm going to invite our community just to rub your hands together and to repeat after me. We see who you are. You are a magnificent divine creation.
You are a magnificent divine creation.
You are in fact a one-of-a-kind miracle.
You are in fact a one-of-a-kind miracle.
You are indispensable to the creation of the universe.
You are indispensable to the creation of the universe.
We love you.
We love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
And we celebrate the light that you are.
And we celebrate the light that you are.
Thank you so much for being here with us today and blessing us with your presence. And now, I bet there are some people here that were born in the month of June.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Hey, Ira.
Hey, Ira. Awesome. Is there anyone else born in the month of June? We're going to ask you to stand because we have a serenade for you.
Yeah.
We'd like to serenade you. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreams. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one. Awesome. And so next I'm going to, yes, absolutely. So I'm going to invite now our in-house Sangha to stand and to greet each other in the spirit of Sayubona, which means we see.
you walk inside this door. There's family set off the way. When your heart's the way you are, and hold you in our hearts the way you are. Bow, bow. Yeah, here we are. My name is Don Fouts, and I love our opening slide. It says, living the magic. Do you feel that? We're living the magic.
Yep.
And the title of the talk today, I'm really excited about this title. Nothing to fix, everything to tend. So get our minds rolling in that direction. This is a time for what I call the thank yous and the invitations. And special shout out to Lisa Lee. I was gone for 2 weeks vacation, Orlando, and then we have a timeshare on the California coast, so I was in Oxnard, and so I missed you. And the thank you is thank you for having me back. And then the last shout out is my wife Amy actually attended Unity service at the Village. Her sister lives near Kansas City. She's still vacationing. And so shout out to Unity Village where my wife was able to attend service this morning. All right, so let's progress into what I'm here to do. We're going to say together our identity and our purpose statements. So, there is, we are family for each other, welcoming, nurturing, and awakening one another at depth. And our purpose, birthing the new human as the face of evolving love on the planet. And I love that purpose, and I assign most of the birthing over to Lisa. Because that's the way we roll. Okay, so we have some weekly events, and to get to those events, the first one is on Monday mornings, and it's live here. So show up here at 10 a.m. and join Jamie Jett for the Life Reflection Cafe. And the next one is on Wednesday. It's our midweek inspiration. To get the Zoom link, it's on Zoom only. You'll have to go to the website and register. And then we have A Course in Miracles. And the treat for my morning is to give you a dose, a small dose. And we're doing the lessons. And this is lesson 158. And it is, today I learn to give as I receive. And this is big and deep. And this is what has been given to you. The knowledge that you are a mind, in mind, and purely mind, sinless forever, wholly unafraid, because you were created out of love. And here is a quiet place within the world, made holy by forgiveness and by love. Here all contradictions reconciled, for here the journey ends. And it's such a living and loving place to be, and it coincides 100% with what Lisa is teaching us on the leading edge of spirituality. All right, our next slide is June 13th, Friday the 13th. This Friday, we'll have the opening mic listening room. And, sorry? Luckiest day of the year? Well, I wrote down, who's going to read poetry from Edgar Allan Poe? So that's the challenge on Friday. So join us, amateur and professional musicians and poets and seekers of a good time this Friday at 7 o'clock right here. And then on Saturday, Kathy, will you stand up please? Kathy is doing a prayer class. And from God, I Need Help, you know,
I had that prayer this week, and it really was answered. I was at my wit's end, and I was just like, God, I need help. Yeah. So you're going to go from there, and you're going to do the 5-step unity prayer process? Yes. All right. So join Kathy here next Saturday, 10 to 12, and there is a suggested $25 donation there.
Sign-up sheets on the back.
There's a sign-up sheet? Oh, we are so efficient. And then next week is Father's Day. I have the privilege and the treat of giving the talk, and I think it's going to be on the Holy Trinity, because you've got your Father, and you've got your Son, and then you've got this mysterious... Now, I thought of this kind of joke today, too. The Father, the Son, and Kathy is Holy Spirit. Okay, but Ira's going to talk about something we have going next Saturday, or Sunday.
So there are 2 services. There's a 9:30 CSL, Reverend
Stacy.
no,
Who's going to talk?
okay, yeah, all the revs are gone, so we have stepping in, Sandy, Reverend Sandy, not Stacy. So in between the service, the men's group will be doing some feeding. It will not be super exotic. We won't be flipping omelets, real time, but we will be giving some good food, and we will do it again after our service. And we're looking, if anybody wants to make anything, we will be buying a lot of food and bringing food. We already have also volunteers bringing sausage, and another volunteer is bringing a lot of fruit. But if anybody else wants to bring something, and I think we're going to have to microwave some of it, nuke it. So we're going to probably be in the hall, not in that area. But come, let me know. Let me know so we can plan. And Kathy and I are going to be buying a bunch of stuff at Costco. We have some money donated, and if you would like to just donate, that's appreciated too. So it is Father's Day. And then I would just say one more thing. Stacy asked a good question, first service. Are you living out loud? Are you living out loud? Nobody's raising their hand. Everybody's like this. Live out loud. Live out loud. You may screw up, but live out loud.
I hesitated because it sounded like a trick question. Okay, so I think the next segment is you, Lisa. All right.
All right, this is our time for prayer. And so I invite you to take out your prayer slips if you have not done that yet. And as we have said many times, praying is creating this amazing portal between heaven and earth, between our humanity and our divinity, allowing greater and greater abundance to really flow in and through our lives. And so we want to keep this portal open on an ongoing basis, because it is it really honors this mutual exchange that we have with what wants to manifest in the 3D, what is going back into the spiritual realm, and we want to really be with that in a very conscious type of way. And so I invite you to hold that level of consciousness while you are in the process of filling out these forms, which can be done for something in your own life, or it can be on behalf of someone else, or on behalf of the earth, or your pets at home, or the universe, or whatever happens to come onto your heart today. So we're going to sing a song for you, which has been created by humans and AI together. It's really quite an amazing collaboration. And it's designed specifically for a labyrinth walk, which I'm going to be co-leading at Unity Village in a couple of weeks. And so this is going to be sung, as you're beginning to enter that. But as we know, the labyrinth walk is the hero's journey. And so it's very much a song about that. And it's a remembrance of our divinity, of who we really are. And I love all the lines, but I particularly love this one: you are the cause, the spark, the infinite. And so it's an opportunity for you to really tap into this part of yourself as you go into prayer. where time dissolves away. Breathe into your heart, let the silence stay. Hello and welcome to your life, a sacred shining star. Every breath a compass, every beat a work of art. You're the player, you're the poet, you're the dreamer wide awake, dancer on this golden stage, each move a world you make. This is your divine unfolding, your story to proclaim, a soul, a sacred motion, like my love's unending flame. Your dance, your stage, your sovereign light, shining through the veils of mine. Follow me, the ground you tread, by grace and truth and spirit led. Believe divinely, believe it. You are the cause, the spark, the infinite. In our work, we bear the witness. Hold your name in starry skies. We sing your word in silence, in the tears that cleanse the eyes. This earth that bows before you, every step a sacred sound, in honor of your being on this holy, holy ground. Your dance, your stage, your sunlight, shining through the veils of night. Follow me, the ground you tread, by grace and truth and spirit led. Believe divinely, believe it. You are the cause, the spark, the infinite. Shining through the veils of night, follow me, the ground you tread, by grace and truth and spirit led. Believe divinely, believe it. You are the cause, the spark, the infinite.
And that is John Jones on the keyboards, phenomenal. Michelle Roll, always spectacular. Lisa Lee. And we're going to pray over these here together. You close your eyes and just know the truth, and that truth was sung here. We are the infinite. And we exist in a field of abundance, in this energy of delight, the delight that Spirit desires to fulfill your every desire. So just take that into your heart and expand it in all of your awareness. You are infinite, an abundance of good health, loving relationships, and financial well-being is easily flowing in this moment and every moment. Thank you, God, that this is so. All right. Well, you get a lot of dawn today. So we're going to do the special reading, and it is easier if I have these readers on. But I love radical spirituality, and that's what it opens up to. Radical, robust wholeness. I am the sacred embodiment of life's becoming. And just know that Lisa is the originator, the author, putting these special readings together. And it is also the focus of our Wednesday inspiration. If you come in, we'll dive into this a little deeper as it affects us personally. But it says here, the universe is not a machine to master, but a living field of unfolding relationship. Quantum physics reveals a reality of particles entangled across time and space, a cosmos held together in deep communion. Brian Swin calls this universal seamlessness, pure generativity. She creates words that, you understand it, but may not have heard it before. Generativity, where life emerges through the aliveness of relationality. We are not outside of this field. We are not broken exceptions within it. We are of it and belong to it entirely. With the wisdom of interconnection, there is nothing we must fix to be whole. Our work is simply to tend. In the same way a gardener cares for the soil, honoring its inherent capacity to nurture each new sprout, its sacred and unique unfolding of life. At times of difficulty, when fear whispers the old story of separateness, we pause. We take a breath, and in that breath we feel the great living web that carries us. Even within our deepest self-emptying, the stardust in our bones remembers. We are not here to conquer life's mystery, but to live its wisdom. We are not here to restore the past, but to accompany the becoming. We emerge from our composting. When I first read that, I said, really? When we emerge from our composting, newly alive, radically and robustly whole, and in this we find our greatest healing. In the affirmation, I am the sacred embodiment of life's becoming. And so it is.
Show
So here we are in the middle of June, and we have a two-part series that we're in the middle of. Before we get to that, though, I wanted to give you kind of a overview of what's going to be happening this summer. Now, typically, the universe provides information for me on a need-to-know basis. I don't know if any of you have ever had that type of experience with the universe, but this particular summer is all laid out. I know what's going to happen between now and the beginning of September, which is actually very cool. So in June, we have the incomparable Don Fouts, as we've heard before, doing Father's Day and the Trinity. So I'm so looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty awesome and inspiring. And then on the 22nd of June, we have Love Moment Sunday. So Love Moments is a segment that we have added in that really is an opportunity for the community to share how the principles that we talk about every Sunday are working in their lives. You know, what does this really look like in the world? So it's a really beautiful time of sharing, and that supports each one of us and really saying, oh yeah, this is how this can look in my life too. So we've done it a couple of ways. We've done it as a short segment as a part of the service. And on the 22nd, it's going to actually be part of the message itself. So there will be 6 individuals that remain secret right now. You just have to show up to find out who they are. 6 highly enlightened individuals that sit among you that are going to come forth and really share a little bit about how this is really living in their lives. So that's going to be totally wonderful. And then we will have a sacred meditation by Steve Hart, which is going to be absolutely, totally great. So the more that we can bring the community into this service, the richer that it will be. So I'm very excited about that. And then we have, what's after that? Oh, we will have a Taizé ceremony, which we haven't done for a while. That's going to be on the 29th. And that is a lovely meditation service. It's something that I actually enjoy doing at the end of a particular segment because it really supports us in fully embodying the messages that we have been living inside of on Sundays. And that is the point of that. So we do that through something about the arts just helps us to embody things. I don't know if you've noticed that. So we will have a combination of spoken word, we will have music, and then we will have a time of just sitting in the silence, which is so rich and nourishing. So that's going to be on the 29th. And then Reverend Florence and I got together, and we're dangerous when we get together. So we always come up with something that's pretty amazing. And so we decided to do a whole summer series on prosperity. And it's going to be based on her book, which is Dream Big and Prosper. And so we're going to be leading the Sunday services together. And then on Saturdays, she will be doing a class from 10 to 11 here in the sanctuary. So we'll be posting all of those dates and everything on the website very shortly. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be uplifting, and it's going to really help us to move forward with our abundance in every area. We did an abundance series last summer. I don't know if you remember that. So it's something about summer and abundance with us. You know, I think this is becoming a thing. So I invite you to be there for that. And then during the summer, we'll have 2 special guest speakers. We will have Azan coming on the 17th of August, and that's for part of the reason so that he can speak on Sunday, but the other part is so he can barbecue his chicken at the picnic on the 23rd. So we have kind of both of those things will be happening at the same time there. And then I had lunch with Mayor Liz Manzan yesterday, and so she's going to be coming and speaking on August the 31st. And you may remember she was here a little while ago, a few weeks ago, and did a fabulous job. So we have an absolutely fabulous line up here for you, and all of this will be on the website for you to take a look at very shortly. So we have been inside of, this is week 2 of our Healing and Wholeness series called The Unbroken Thread, a new story of healing. And so we're living inside of that, and it's really kind of the perfect setup in a way for prosperity, because everything happens out of that sense of wholeness. And so when you really can live inside fully of this idea of wholeness, everything in your life begins to flow. There's this beautiful symbiotic relationship also between wholeness and healing, because if you really live inside of wholeness, you will be healed. And if you are really focusing on healing, the way to do it is through wholeness. So they kind of really speak to each other, I think, in a very beautiful way. And so we're looking at this unbroken thread, so to speak, that runs from within to without. So we're knowing that what is happening within is showing itself outwardly. And the other piece is where we talked about a little bit in the special reading about a radical form of wholeness. And it's a total embrace of wholeness. And we'll notice that as we're on this path, this spiritual path, we recognize I call it the heft of our hearts. Like our hearts can hold so much. They are so big, they're so magnificent. And so we realize that part of being on this journey is to embrace more and more with our hearts. And so that's part of what this radical embrace is. And I like at our midweek inspiration on Wednesdays, which by the way, you should attend. It's absolutely fantastic. We were really playing with this idea, I think Steve brought it up, of waking up and waking down. So that's idea of really learning to transcend, which means that we understand the difference between our divine voice and our ego voice, and we choose our divine voice, so that's what waking up is. But the waking down part is this compassionate embrace of our entire beingness. So this is this I like this term of this is where heaven and earth kiss. So they're designed to really be together in sacred partnership. So that's the radical side of that wholeness. So last week we talked about Myrtle's whispers, when the body becomes a prayer. And that's a poetic way of taking a look at what we consider illness in a different way. Just like we were talking about prayer earlier. You know, what if we look at illness more as a portal, as a possibility, as an opening for something to manifest that has not manifested yet. And in that sense, we can really feel this connection through whatever we consider the illness or whatever needs to be healed. We can be in that divine connection between heaven and earth there. And it really begins to feel very much like a prayer. And Myrtle, as we had learned, was really inspired by E.B. Weeks when she went to a special lecture there. And she captured this vision, and the vision was, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. And so part of that is that recognition that we don't identify with whatever is happening to us that we consider unhealed or illness or whatever seems less than in our lives, that we really embrace this large I am of us. And so she did that and began to really move into a very sacred conversation with her own body. And from her own writing, she said, I told my lungs, because she had been diagnosed with tuberculosis, which was really a death sentence at that time in the beginning of the 20th century. She said, I told my lungs that they were free and perfect. I told them that the substance of spirit was flowing through them and that they were pure and healthy. I told them they were no longer to accept any mortal suggestions about weak lungs, inherited tendencies, or disease. I told them that they were to do their work perfectly. I spoke words of truth and love and praise to all my body parts. I told them that I had neglected them in the past and was sorry. And so this was really a sense of really not even so much speaking the right words to be healed as it was to really enter into this sacred realm of connection with the divine. And so what we're going to take a look at here, what we took a look at last week also, is this idea that you may have noticed that the universe has its own agenda. It's not always necessarily one that we're immediately can tap into. But because we have this amazing portal with the divine, there's so much that can happen that's beyond whatever the particular outcome is that we're hoping for. And so that's where this word, Dawn, came up with the 2-year compost, I called it. Because Myrtle herself went through this, I call it this composting period of time of 2 years, from the time that she was sitting there listening to E.B. Weeks to the time that she was healed. And a lot happened within that time. And a lot goes on where we're asked to surrender, we're asked to change how we think. We're asked to let go of our attachment to outcome. A lot of those things happen during that compost period. And those of you who have ever, has anyone here ever done any composting? So you're familiar with that process is, and we know that it is absolutely an amazing, beautiful process. Not always squeaky clean kind of a situation, at all. But it's very natural, and it's part of life. And so this is what we go through that period of time. And we have in that situation with Myrtle, she had the particular outcome that she wanted. I also told my own story of my own 2-year compost period with my daughter Crystal, which actually was another 2-year period, so I'm sure there's something significant about that. At the end of which she was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, and she made her transition 2 years after that. It was not particularly the outcome that I was holding for when I started the process, but I had been changed at depth to the point where I understood and I was in alignment with the universe at the time that occurred. And so at the celebration of life, I said to everybody, thank you for your prayers. God has said yes to life. And that was really revolutionary to me at that time. And so that leads us into today, which is nothing to fix, everything to tend. And how that, when we start the process of our composting, is kind of a radical statement, right? Because if we turn on the news, we tend to see things to be fixed, don't we? Or, going through our life in general, we can pick up several things, that looks like it's something to be fixed. And so I have a question for us as we move through this particular period. And I want to know, I forgot to mention this before. Don, do you have the mic? Because I would like to ask people this particular question. And the question is God an ATM machine? We're going to talk about what I mean by that shortly, but I just want to know, off the top of your head, what do you think about that question? Is God an ATM machine?
Anyone?
Well, I suppose God could be, because we can make spiritual deposits and make spiritual withdrawals.
Yeah, there's the new age, do this and you'll get it. Well, I think there's a range of possibilities in the world for you, on your karma, whatever. And it is up to you. Are you on the left side or the right side? Are you going to be down or up? Well, so I think there's I think you have an account, and you can withdraw from it depending on where you are.
I love these brave souls that are answering this question. So this
No disrespect to other religions, but I have a vision of a confessional. And that's what's coming to my mind when I think of an ATM machine. But no disrespect. That's
If I had a dream and I was asking God if he was or she was an ATM machine, they would simply say no, and I don't think they'd be wrong.
I think the universe, or God, is an ATM machine in that it always says yes. You can withdraw. Now, what we need to do is get out of our own way and make sure we don't tell love or spirit what we think our next highest step is. So our goal for the rest of our lives is to simply say, let me listen carefully 24 hours a day, because Spirit will tell us yes, but it will not necessarily be in the form you think it is, little $20 bills. It will be magnificent, but it might not necessarily be in the fashion you thought you should tell God.
Be right there, Sid.
This kind of goes along with what Marcia was saying, but I like to think no, because with an ATM machine, you can only withdraw what's in there, what you already have. And I like to think that God can give you more than you already have.
I came across this last week. You'll love it. What you want is looking for you.
Kind of along the same lines as Marcia and Rosie, but the ATM of God will keep giving until it runs out of cash, right? So, it's all giving, but it's, of course, we're taking. So we want to be giving and then receiving and finding that equilibrium, that point.
I was pointing.
Yeah, you had your hand up.
I did?
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to make something up.
Okay, very good.
All right. I love that. I love that play. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And we're going to be exploring some of that. But very often we tend to treat God kind of like this mechanical process, like we have this particular outcome that we are insisting upon. And we have our perfect affirmations and we do all of these types of things. Not that there's anything wrong with that. As you know, we do affirmations every week. And, if it doesn't happen, we think something is wrong with the machine, right? Or we think, we just obviously didn't do the right affirmation or whatever. And it's a very limiting way to think about it. As Marcia was saying, what if God always says yes? If that's the case, then we need to really change how we are looking at the whole piece. And we need to shift what I call from moving from a transactional relationship to a trust-based relationship with the divine. And I love this idea, what you were saying, Rosie, what if God wants to give us more than we're asking for? And I think this really perfectly begins to set us up that way. And so how do we do that? It's kind of a big ask, isn't it? Particularly if you have something that's in your life that you really want to see happen. Like in my case, I wanted to see my daughter live. And I know that we're living in a time where we have these types of things happening in our lives. How do we really shift out of that into this trust-based relationship from the transaction base? So I'm going to talk about 3 different ways of doing that. And the first one refers to our first principle, God is. We have 5 unity principles, and this is the very first one. God is, there is only one power and one presence in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And it's one of those principles that, it's like if we only have one, this should be the one. This one kind of covers all the other 4, under that. And it really moves us, if you think there is only one power, that really moves us out of the whole duality, good, bad, right, wrong, that whole narrative. It kind of totally shifts us out of that place. And it really creates a whole different way of looking at everything, that everything serves. Another way of looking at that is that everything serves love. That it's impossible to have anything happen, all thoughts, everything that's happening on TV, in the government, all of these things, that means that everything serves love. And so part of it with all of these 3 things is to move to that level of, there's a Christian mystic that was talking about being the first cause of love in the world. And basically that means that you decide how you are going to hold everything that is happening. That you don't live in the realm of sort of knee-jerk reaction to everything that's in your life, but you decide first how are you going to meet the world. What is your stance? What is your highest position of love with which you can come forth with everything? And so that is that type of way of looking at everything that is occurring is something that is serving love, regardless of what this appearance is. So you begin to treat your life exactly like that, and it begins to show itself to you very differently. And so the next is, if you're looking at it that way, then you begin to look at what we would call pathology or illness. We begin to look at it not pathologically, but as a source of wisdom. And I have worked this way with my own body over the years, which has been an absolutely amazing journey. You know, what if you have a stomach ache and you decide there's nothing wrong, it's just telling you something? You know, what is the wisdom that's there in that? And I have changed my diet radically, you know, as a result of learning how to really tune in to listen to what the wisdom is, and not to decide this is something I should just take a pill for and forget about. Not to put it, I'm not saying anything about Western medicine, but just to say that there's another way to look at it that really embraces the fact that everything serves. So it means everything has a wisdom, it has something for us to really gain and move forward from. So the next is, I like to call it the art of finding holes in things. And so that, of course, is W-H-O-L-E-S as opposed to H-O-L-E-S. And that's to recognize that the universe is holomonic in nature, which means everything, even the small parts, contain the whole. And I love Rumi's famous quote, where he says that you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. And so it's recognizing that with everything that you see, that everything has a fullness that's with it. And so if you begin to look at it that way, then you begin to eventually see there's nothing that is missing from that picture. It's just another form of wholeness. And so if you can begin to really shift into that, you'll realize there isn't really anything to fix, and you move into that place of tending. So I love this term tending, and I heard it first with Nora Bateson, who does such beautiful work in supporting us and understanding how we truly are connected to all of life and to all things, and how there's an intelligence there. And so it's not so much about fixing the world as it is tending and really recognizing that everything has a wisdom, everything is connected, and so we are nurturing that. We are aligning ourselves with that, with our thoughts and with our emotions and with what we are doing in the world. Everything is in aligning with the fact that we understand this intelligence of this interconnection, and we understand this wholeness. And so that means everybody has the fullness of the divine. Every situation has the fullness of the divine. There's nothing missing. And there cannot be any more. There cannot be any more divinity within them than there is now. So understanding and really coming from that standpoint. So the next thing goes alignment with what Marcia said earlier, and that's living in the vibration of yes. And it's an incredibly high vibration to recognize the universe always says yes. And we don't always think of it that way, particularly if we have this transactional relationship where we didn't get exactly the outcome. But the yes is directly aligned with the true desires of our heart. And so the universe is always aware of that, even beyond what we may actually be aware of. The universe is aware of why we have come to this earth, and is always in support of all of that, our true purpose, our true heart's desire. And this is what always is being said yes to. So part of living in this trustful way is to be in that high vibration. I mean, to move into that place with your imagination first, and then your belief system, that the universe always says yes to the desires of your heart. And to really be in that. When you're in that vibration, I think we did a series a couple of years ago on vibration and high vibration, things begin to flow, synchronicities begin to happen, things show up magically. You get some happy surprises financially, all of these types of things begin to occur because you're in that vibration, which means that you have high vibration eyes, you have high vibration ears, high vibration touch, everything, is in that vibration, so your entire relationship with giving and receiving begins to shift and change. And so I really recommend that we stay in that and just play. I love the fact that curiosity can really be our best friend as we're trying to cultivate new spiritual ways of being. Not from the standpoint of judgment, but just, let me be curious about this situation and see where's the yes in this, and stay in that curiosity and vibration. So I'm going to end with a story, and believe it or not, this is a story that comes from the Marvel Universe. I think you probably didn't know that the Marvel Universe was a source of amazing wisdom. But this is my favorite Marvel story, and it's the story of Dr. Strange. Has any of you seen this? I think I've seen it for like at least 5 times. You get to the point where you can kind of, say different lines and all of this kind of thing. But it's really such a perfect story that depicts this nothing to fix, everything to tend message that we have today. And so we have the hero of our story, Dr. Strange, in the beginning, who is this brilliant surgeon. He's skilled, he's confident, a little bit too confident probably, according to how the character was there. And his hands were totally his identity. His hands were his power, and his hands were his source of abundance and worth in the world. So this is how he starts off. Then one day, everything changed. He went through this horrible accident. By the way, this is a total spoilers alert for those of you that haven't seen the movie, but see it anyway. It's worth, seeing it after this. And so one day he has this really horrible car accident, and it shatters his hands, and he completely is unable to operate anymore. He's gone through just incredible. He had a lot of money initially. He spent every dime that he had trying to figure out, what is the latest operations that can be done, all the alternative treatments, all kinds of things, and nothing really worked for him. And obviously, he was totally in that mode of this needs to be fixed, right? Like there's something that is going horribly wrong here, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be restored to how it was in the past. And so after he had traveled the world, done all of those types of things, trying to find a cure, with this basic idea in his mind that if his hands were fixed, he would be whole. Have you ever thought about that with certain things in your life where you think about if this one thing would change, if this one thing would be like this, my life would just be perfect, like if that one thing would change. So this is where he was with his hands. But nothing really happened. And so finally, desperate and broken, he found his way to a teacher, which is called the Ancient One, who is a marvelous character. I just totally love her. And he totally dismantled his entire story, and she introduced him in a very non-gentle way to the invisible realm. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it became so visceral for him that he really could not ignore the fact that there's something else going on than what's happening in the 3D dimension. And she showed him this truth that was far deeper. The healing is not about restoring what was lost. Healing is about awakening to who you are becoming. And so through this journey, Dr. Strange stopped trying to fix his hands and started to tend to something much greater. He began to take on all of these spiritual abilities and really move to a point of really being very masterful with his skills. And really began to shift from that one singular goal of fixing his hands to a sacred responsibility to really serve life in whole itself, and to step into the web of existence with a sense of humility, with a sense of surrender, and with trust. And he looked at the end of the movie. Of course, this is another hero's journey, so he does absolutely incredible things from this new inner strength that he has developed that has replaced the outer strength. But at the end of the movie, they show that his hands are still trembling. So that through it all, he had not really fully restored his hands, but he had been healed. And so this is a whole different way of looking at it. And he learned that there is really nothing to fix, there is only something to tend, which is the magnificence of the universe, was what we are really called to be here. That healing is not control, That healing is not returning to the past, it's not returning to what was. That healing is opening to the sacred unfolding of what is always becoming, even when it includes the trembling. So even we may not necessarily have the hand situation he had, but we have the human situation that, we're vulnerable when we move into these realms, when we live in this way, when we say yes to the universe, when we allow ourselves to be fully utilized through this process of healing. So what I would like us to do now is just to take some deep breaths. I'm going to lead us through one of my favorite meditations, which is the seamlessness meditation. So I invite you just to take a breath and just to allow this breathing experience to encompass your entire being, all of your magnificence, feeling this breath, filling every part of your physical body, every crevice, every cell, and recognizing this breath is a natural exchange with the universe. It is an affirmation of your connection to all things, to all of wholeness. And feel the fullness and the wholeness with each breath. And allow the boundaries between your physical body and your thoughts, feelings, and emotions to begin to become very soft. Noticing as they're becoming soft, there's a beautiful exchange between all of them. There is a flow through body, mind, and spirit. Since the essence of your body, the essence of your mind, the essence of your spirit being in a dance together, since the many parts of you being drawn together by the gravitational pull of love, by a universal allurement, by a cosmos that has known you in its heart of hearts from the very beginning, before any form of you even existed. Sense into the largeness of this cosmos, this cosmic knowingness, billions of galaxies, trillions of planets and stars, countless beings of all forms. Sense its largeness of beingness, extending out of time as we know it. Sense the robustness and the rigor of its evolutionary process, and all the ways it has upped the ante on itself in countless creations, and how you now are a product of this evolutionary flow. You are the best of the best. Sense this cosmic knowingness surrounding and enfolding you. You are the very center of its heart. Sense how the boundaries between you and this cosmic knowingness are now soft. Sense all that is, all that will be, permeating your being, permeating your body, your mind, and your spirit. Its wisdom is your wisdom. Its creative potential is your creative potential. And since all that you are as a unique, individuated expression of the divine, gifting the cosmos with your beingness, sense your body, mind, and spirit flowing into the universe, into its largeness and expansiveness. Sense the desires of your hearts being received, seen, known, and loved by the cosmos. Sense the desires of your heart joining with the creative energies of the cosmos, which cannot be denied manifestation. This is the very nature of the universal heart, to create, to make more of itself. Sense your heart desires as an inextricable part of this natural process. And hear the voice of the cosmos saying to you, yours, and you are mine. I am yours, and you are mine. Breathe deeply inside of this awareness as you begin to bring your attention back to this time, back to this place, noticing yourself being supported by your chair, noticing all those around you. You are in seamless connection with the universe. You are ever filled with all that you need and are empowered in every moment to become a living confirmation that indeed the foundation of everything is love. Take another deep breath in this living dance of heart energy, knowing that this is the way it really is.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. A little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marble. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Everybody said, something's calling me. A little bit deeper than ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light moves me. If God is everything, everywhere I belong. Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper never been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Did I already say spectacular? Beautiful.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a Jamie Lula song.
And you played it so well.
Oh, thanks.
So this is our time for tending. So tending to the recognition that your spirituality at this church has a financial element to it. And we have an affirmation. If you hold your gift in your hands, we'll say that together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. You can pass your gifts to the aisles and the ushers will pick those up. And it is with an incredible gratitude. Just feel the happiness in your heart. Bring that happiness as a smile to your face. Indeed, that which is calling us has arrived. It has arrived in our abundance, in the recognition that life's flow is easy. As we wake up to the knowing and the trusting, that living in the mystery of this love is joy. Thank you, God, this is so. Amen.
So it is now time for our affirmations. Invite everybody to stand, to get your outdoor voices ready. I used to say that to my kids, you know, we're ready to use our indoor voices in here. But we definitely need our outdoor voices for this. So I invite us to take a deep breath and repeat after me. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. We are. We are. I am. I am. We are. We are. I am a radiant expression of the divine. I am a radiant expression of the divine. Infinitely loved. Infinitely loved. And eternally supported. And eternally supported. I am a divine keeper of the flame. I am a divine keeper of the flame. I say yes to love. I say yes to love. And I am transformed at depth. And I am transformed at depth. I'm an author of the impossible. I am an author of the impossible. I'm a living miracle. I'm a living miracle. I'm a living miracle. I'm a living miracle. I am a living miracle. I am a living miracle. I am. I am. We are. We are. I am. I am. We are. We are. And so it is. And so it is. Anybody? Woo. reimagine together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a fabulous week, lovers.